Do you want to know more about detailing and weathering freight cars? Why don't you stick around and watch this segment, see how we do it on my N-scale model railroad, the Sayre Secondary. Hello everyone, Joe from Central Jersey, Conrail and N-scale. Welcome back to the paint shop. So it's 2020, it's a new year, so I have a whole list of projects to get going for this series. So this time on the paint shop, we're going to be working on a project that I've been just dying to get done because it's just so aggravating, and a lot of people who watch the operations series have been commenting is loads for the center I-beam cars. Yeah, it's kind of hard to visualize those open cars going in and out of those lumber facilities with no loads on them. So I finally got all the supplies together, come together with a great plan to put loads in these center I-beam cars. Yeah, so the Sayre Secondary, it's lumber country, but we're not making it, we're using it. Central Jersey was a big endpoint user of a lot of lumber products due to a lot of construction and building, especially in the 80s and 90s. So I thought it was very vital to portray the area that I'm modeling to have a lot of lumber facilities, and that means a lot of lumber racks coming in full and going out empty. So I have two main lumber cars that I'm using. I'm using the Microtrain 60-foot center I-beam car, and I've also got a bunch of the red caboose 73-foot center I-beam car. Both beautiful cars, but they really need some loads. So I did a lot of research around, and I found this this one manufacturer here, columbustrainmaster, quality in-scale freight loads. And you can locate him. He's got his email address at jhaverstock@aol.com. I'll put it up in the comments section. Makes a really nice product. It comes packaged like this. I think I got him on eBay. He has an eBay shop. And he makes all these custom graphics for the lumber loads and puts them on a nice piece of wood and mounts them up for you so they're already good to go. And for the 73-footers, the red caboose, this is the perfect size. Slides right in there. The other, for the 60-footers, you have to do a little cutting. So we're going to go over that. Now, the other thing is with me, I'm kind of particular. The 73-foot loads that I experimented with, you know, they go in there and they're kind of tight. You know, they don't come out very easily. But due to his production runs, some of them were loose and they would kind of teeter out. Also, the 60-footers, the Microtrains, when you cut them, they don't go in tight at all. They're very loose and sloppy. They'll stay in there for a little bit, but then as you're riding the cars around, they kind of fall out. That's kind of a problem for me. Now, the simple solution, glue them in. However, you know, with my operation scheme, I want to represent the loaded cars going in. I want to unload them, represent the empty cars going out. So I needed to come up with some kind of system to hold those in there firmly and then easily take them out and get them out, the cars on their way with no loads. So through some experimenting and shopping around, I found some materials that I'm going to put together to kind of put them in there. I'm using magnets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get set up on the workbench, and I'm going to go over there and get everything all prepped, and we'll show you how I do it. Okay, so here's the first test car that we did. So if you look, it comes out. So now if I hold it upside down, the load doesn't fall on either side. So what I've devised is this system where I take the load and I put a washer nut combo so that the magnet holds it like that. Okay? Another little added bonus of doing this is to add some weight to the car when you have the load in. So let's go over it and I'll show you how I did it. So what you're going to need is you're going to need two magnets. Now these magnets that I have here, I got from Michael's. I got them in the craft section. They're the smallest magnets I could find. They're a 0.47 inch diameter magnet, and you get 6 of them. They're fairly inexpensive. I can't remember how much. They got some. They're pretty strong, so they'll work for what we need. All right, so then I got my load. So I'm gonna get my load out. Now the first thing you need to do, like I said, is you need to measure it and cut it because these are too long for the 60-foot cars. Yeah, I just had a moment of ingenuity. That last cut was kind of crooked. I wasn't happy with that, so I'm going to do this with a miter box and a saw. And yeah, a lot cleaner and quicker. Yeah, nice and neat. Of course, I don't have one of those modeler's miter boxes, but it works still. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut these, so I'll test fit them in here like that. As you can see, I might have cut this one a little too much. Okay, so the next step in this process, what we're going to do is we're going to take the load and remove it from the car, put the car aside. Now, standing the loads up here, we're going to lay them down like so. Okay? Now what I need to do is take a 1/2-inch drill bit, come in here, and ever so slightly drill a small divot. Be careful you don't go all the way through the piece of paper. Key when you're doing this is you want to make sure that these divots line up. Okay? So now what I've determined, you want to make sure that that's flat and this is flat. Now, if they don't lay down flat, what I've found is the best thing to do. So with the magnet side, you're going to need a piece of paper or something to put in between the magnets so it doesn't stick to the hammer. And just tap it in so that it seats it down in the wood. This wood's fairly soft, so you can flatten it out, because you don't want it protruding up because it'll push the load away from the car. So you got to walk that fine line of making the hole deep enough but not too deep that you go all the way through. And I know that from experience. Okay, so that's down nice and flat. Now we're going to do the same for the nuts. Okay, so with now that in place, we'll put a little crazy glue around the nut. Pull the magnet out, put a little crazy glue on the wood in here, seat it down, and let it dry. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put these aside and let these dry, because I know from experience if you rush and put them in the car too quick, they'll stick to the side. So I'm going to put this aside and we'll get started on another set. Okay, so now that I got the lumber loads done, I'm going to go ahead and I loaded my airbrush up with some mud, with about 4 drops of isopropyl alcohol just to thin it out a little bit. And I'm just going to give these cars a little dusting and get them a little weathered looking. So, and then afterwards we'll see how it comes out. We may do a little more with weathering powder. So let's get to work. Okay, everyone, so there you go. That's how we did it. Very happy with the project. Finally got this done. So in our operation series now it'll make a little more sense that we see loads going in and empties going out. Very happy with the overall outcome of the project. Some little added side benefits of doing this is when those cars are running with those loads, with those nuts and those magnets, it actually adds a good amount of weight, and the cars are tracking so much better now. So that's the inherent design of the center beam flat car. And even in the prototype, the prototype railroads had the same problem as those modelers do. Is there's just, when it's empty, it's not enough weight, and they buckle and all that stuff when they're being pushed in directions. So adding that weight, even though it seems a little excessive at first, it actually makes it run so much better. So a lot of you out there are probably watching and saying, why did you waste all this time with this project? You know, the big thing is, you know, the loads themselves from Columbustrainmasters, they're really, really nice products. The wood, it's all wrapped nice and glued and ready to go. They're good for the 73-foot red caboose cars, so you just got to put them in. The MTL, the microtrains line cars, you just got to cut them and they fit in. But the problem is I have these things, I want to be able to unload and load the cars to represent during the operation series. And the thing is, I'm just not comfortable. Sometimes they're a little too loose and they fall out. And I don't want to be dumping loads in the middle of the helix and not know about it until there's a derailment. So that's why I developed this system with the quarter 20 nut and that little magnet. And it's got just enough holding power to hold it in firm, but not too much where you can't undo it. So I think it was a home run on that respect. And finding those parts from Michaels, those little half-inch magnets, are perfect size for this project in N-Scale. So big shout out to Columbustrainmaster for producing such a great product for us here in N-Scale. Really love it. Think you should go check it out if you need lumber loads for your cars. I'm not getting any kind of endorsement from him. I don't even know if he watches YouTube, but you know, I just thought it was that important to purvey to all my N-Scale followers that to go check this out. He has a eBay shop over on eBay, and that's where you can buy these loads from. I'm not sure if he's dealing with any dealers right now, but that's where I got my loads from. So I'll post a link up in the comment section. Go over to eBay and check out his store. And really great product. What I really like is what you may have noticed from the pictures. There's lots of variations in the prints. Like some areas, there's like, it looks like the tarp has torn, or you know, it's really he puts a lot of effort into doing it. So go check him out. And with that being said, that's all I have for you this time on the paint shop. So if you've seen this video for the first time and you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, because we'd love to have you following along. I'm always producing great free content like this. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page and Instagram account, because I'm always posting daily update of all the projects that I'm doing, like this one here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.